From here to here is a short distance, but sometimes the thoughts from here to the printed page takes some doing and takes some time. This is between the lines where we focus on the precepts and concepts in our literature and other forms of communication. On this occasion, we take a look at this new book, Here Are Your Heroes, Caribbean, by Mr. Standhope Williams. Welcome to Between the Lines.
Thank you very much, Mr. Persaud.
Mr. Williams is Guyanese. He is a designer of the insignia of the highest national honor of the Caribbean region, the Order of the Caribbean Community. He has worked as a protocol officer and a calligrapher in the office of the President of the Republic of Guyana for over a decade, serving 3 consecutive presidents. An accomplished public communication practitioner, Williams writes with authority and clarity. In my opening remarks, I said that it takes some time to get your thoughts from here to here.
Yes.
It takes some time. How long did it take? How long did this book take in the writing?
It took approximately 4 years, 4 to 5 years, before it was published. Actually, I started writing in 2000, the year 2000. That was just before the world celebrated the new millennium.
All right.
At the time, I was at Oh My Gold Mines Limited when the company was winding down its operations, and I thought that I should, do something spectacular, like the world itself. And although I've been writing over the years in smaller ways, poetry and so on, I had in mind to do something, as I said, special. And so I thought of a particular project which might be useful, not only for myself, but also for the country.
All right. Great. Now that you've embarked on that project, now this book, there are a number of origin stories. At least there are two of them that I know. One is the song by Dave Martins. I'm asking, where are your heroes? Caribbean.
Yes.
And the other one was to do with, I think, you're designing the insignia.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Tell us about the two origin, or how many other origin story you have for this book. Where did this book spring from?
Well, there were 3 sources, really.
3 sources,
You mentioned
right,
2.
right.
The fact that I grew up hearing the song "Where Are Your Heroes, Caribbean," and the Dave Martin kept lamenting the fact that we have not been recognizing our heroes, and then the fact that I am the designer, but it's just by accident that I happen to be the designer of the award, having entered the competition and won. But then I was doing an essay on the order itself for a magazine, and I decided to do some research on the award itself, and I discovered that there was not much
To go on.
information to go on in the public domain, and even at the very source of the award. So I thought,
How unfortunate for you.
yes.
Go on.
And so it dawned on me that, if I as the designer cannot get information on it, then I believe that the members of the public would be encountering similar problems. And I decided that, here is my opportunity to put in one place as much information as I can get, because I realized that me being the designer, perhaps it is just my name known, but so much went on in the process of designing it that I thought that members of the public may be interested in, and I thought that this is my opportunity to put it in writing, and I just thought that I can utilize my skills in writing to
Exactly.
also
That's one
tell the
source.
story.
Uh-huh. That's one source.
Yes.
One origin. What's the other two?
The other two is, as I said, the fact that the world was celebrating the new millennium, and I thought that, well, if I can get something out there also to mark, because this is the marker for me, the year 2000.
All right.
And so I embarked on the writing process in that year. And so it kept on. So I actually made contact with Dave Martin of Dave Martin and the Trade Winds, and to ask his permission to use his words as part of my book to in response to his song, and he was very happy to give me the permission to do so. And so I was able to do it, to utilize the words of his song. You might have seen it in the text. And so that's how I was able to do it. And then I decided to travel the region to actually meet with some of these people.
I'm coming to that.
Yes,
Our region is rich.
very much so.
Heroes, heroine, iconic figures. You know, what I mean, it's rich. And I like this. I mean, if you hadn't brought it to light, I wouldn't have discovered it. I may have discovered it some other time. But is this Michael Manley saying in 1994? It's
Yes.
the beginning of your book. Like it's something the whole book is based on. And it said, and I quote, "History is fashioned in the dialectical interaction between culture and economics.
Yes,
But it is illuminated by its personalities.
yes,
It is the great figures who shed the light and cast
Cast
the
the
shadows through which we understand. It is through them that we get to know the best
yes,
of ourselves.
yes.
It is its personalities. Tell us about some of those personalities you've met while gathering material for this book.
Well, two of the memorable personalities I would say would be Sir Alistair McIntyre, who was a good officer for Guyana on the Guyana-Venezuela border dispute, as well as, well, actually, I didn't meet Dame Nita Barrow, but I met her sister.
Right.
And it's interesting when I met the sister, because
Yeah, that's a lovely story. I enjoy that.
yes, I walked in on a cataloging exercise.
Yeah, yeah.
She was actually cataloging her sister's awards and honors, and I was able to hold in my hand the box, the presentation box in which
wow.
her OCC medal was in,
That must be
brand new.
Quite a moment.
Yes, it was. It was quite a moment. Yes. So, I met Sir Sridhar himself also, who wrote the introduction,
Yes.
to the preface to the
preface,
book.
that's right.
That it was very engaging, and also in meeting him and talking with him. I saw the being in the presence of such a great personality, Caribbean hero. I
Awesome.
must
Really
say,
awesome man.
very awesome
Right,
in
yeah.
meeting and talking with him, and he was very, very humble. I must say also.
Definitely.
In agreeing to do what he did for me, and in talking with him and recognizing how much more he could would be contributing to the Caribbean region.
Those are two persons. How many other persons you have met?
I met I spoke with Sir Garfield Sobers. Yes, the world's greatest cricketer.
Really outstanding.
Yes, I spoke with Derek Walcott, the Nobel laureate, the
No wonder Nobel Prize for
Nobel
Literature.
Prize
in
for Literature.
1992.
Yes,
That's right.
yes, and I met also the Mighty Sparrow. Yes, I met the Mighty
Birdie.
Sparrow. Yes, I met him in New York actually, and spoke with him, and so it's quite interesting. in
What are
meeting
some of the high points or their memorable? I mean, just meeting the characters, you can go blank. But what are
Yes.
some of the things that were left with you?
Well, you know what? I for the most part, I'm touched by the humility of some of these people, because many times when you would have arrived at certain place in life, some people become very much beyond the reach of the ordinary man. And so I believe that is one of the key aspects that remain with me, the humility in a lot of these people, regardless of their greatness.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to meet with them on a one-on-one basis,
All right.
and as such, I just I think I spoke about that in my book also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. In his preface, Sir Sridhar Ramphal said uh, he's not gonna he's not gonna dwell too much on the present crop of awardees,
Yes.
which in a way was good. He said, and I quote, "It would be invidious to attempt to enumerate individuals who have surely been members of the order had the order existed in
Yeah.
their time,
Mm-hmm.
but their contributions were monumental,
Yes.
that eventually led to the formation of the Treaty of Chaguaramas in 1973. And he paid special tribute to our creators,
Yes.
creators of ideas, our artists. And he said, and I quote again, our cultural heroes, writers, poets, singers, very important, very important. Our cultural heroes, writers, poets, singers, dancers, those who have helped to create a stage from which their talents could inspire West Indians, were within the compass of an OCC not yet born. So he paid a lot of attention to persons who could have gotten that award.
Yes.
Also, Tyrone Ferguson also dwell on some of the persons who could have gotten the award. And he said things like this, and I quote, too often we take too much for granted. Our Caribbean personalities of excellence and world stature, we fail to constantly tell. That's why you couldn't find things
Right.
when you were looking for them, the information. We fail constantly to tell tales of our Caribbean heroes. And which he goes on to say, it's an indispensable anchor of the Caribbean regionalism, is the public recognition,
Yes.
which is what you're doing.
Yes.
The acknowledgement and the consciousness of our heroes. Right? Our heroes are the embodiment of our Caribbean dreams and aspirations. Comment in that these two personality,
Yes.
Sir Sridhar Ramphal and Mr. Tyrone Ferguson,
Yes.
they took some time off to give credit to some of the persons who contributed but were outside the ambit of the award. Talk about some of those people for a moment.
Well, I agree with both of them, obviously, because I am aware, and I said in my introduction, that there are many, many persons who would have qualified for such an award. But obviously, the OCC was created in 1991. It became known in 92 when it was given out for the first time. And so we know that all the CARICOM countries, those that are independent, got their independence in the 60s, starting with Jamaica, then Guyana, Trinidad, etc. And throughout those periods, there were so many persons who would have contributed in every sphere of endeavor, in academia, in sports and culture. And we know of some of the sporting heroes.
Yes.
We know some like Rohan Kanai, Lance Gibbs. We know of in the area of education, in law. There have been so many others in every area, and so it's unfortunate that such persons were never honored in a
The lifetime.
tangible way
Right.
in their lifetime.